Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of DGS2 Case 4. Sherlock is expecting some guests right now, so we went upstairs to do a little poking around. There's really, this entire part where we just went up to Naruhodo's consulting office was entirely optional, but I'm like, why not? So, we are supposed to, for the time being, waste time until Sherlock's guest comes in. So, what we're gonna do now, that's not the go away. We're gonna head over and have a little chat with Chief Justice. Maybe run into certain people. Who knows? Okay, that's not the certain person I was thinking of, but this is fine too. It's the same day, unspecified time, the High Court of Justice, the Chief Magistrate's office. Here is the manuscript for tomorrow's opening address. Your lordship's notes contain the detailed numerical values calculated by the yard. I see. Well done, as I expected of you. Sir, much obliged. Lord Van Zeeks. They seem to be having a very nerve-wracking briefing of sort. This room is suffocating at the best of times. I wish they wouldn't make things even more nerve-wracking. Oh, it's you folks. You're so small and dark that I didn't even notice you there. Begging your pardon. No, it's entirely my own fault for dressing all in black. No, don't take this from him! We'll make sure to come dress all in white next time. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. Naruhodo, at your service. I can see my life flashing before my eyes. Is something wrong? Perhaps this room is a little warm for your taste. No. I've never experienced such a perfect room temperature in my entire life. I hope that's the case, but you appear to have bullet-sized drops of sweat beading on your forehead. I swear to God, Vortex is just having fun messing with him. That's mostly because of nerves caused by his lordship's gaze. The International Scientific Investigation Symposium will begin at last tomorrow. I received word a moment ago that your father had arrived in London. Yes, thank you very much for inviting him. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, I leave the meeting hall to you. I'll head over shortly. Hi. Bye. He glared at you for a moment before leaving, Naruhodo-sama. And here I was, thinking I was a nobody. Oh. These past few days have been dizzyingly busy. My right hand for these past long years was suddenly snapped cleaned off the other day, you see. Huh? You seem to have both your hands as far as I can see. No, not that. Naruhodo-sama, I believe that when he says his right hand, he's referring to Dr. Sith. Oh. She's probably right. I apologize. I was just... No, this is undeniably no fault of yours. She's the one who acted corruptly. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Then why do I still feel the heated gaze of this man whose his right hand snapped off burning into me? I've got Lord Van Zeeks working hard. Also, that one sentence for Naruhodo was a little rough. I think I understood it. I think he said it was something like, his hand was snapped off and is burning in his hand, or something like that. I've got Lord Van Zeeks working hard. Troublingly, his apprentice seems to have gone away as of yesterday. What? I see. His apprentice went away? He must mean Kazuma-sama. Where did he go? Where has he been these last few days in general? The International Scientific Investigation Symposium. I hate this word. Apparently yesterday, the number of visitors to the London's World's Fair reached 30 million. 30 million? I didn't even know there were that many people in the world. Incidentally, the total population of the Imperial City of Tokyo is around 20 million. The International Scientific Investigation Symposium will be held in the Central Hall on the World's Fairgrounds. Thinking back, it's taken 2 years to coordinate this event with each country. That's, wow. Congratulations on making it to the event then. The dawn 20th century will definitely be an era of scientific investigation. Then the partnerships between the international police forces will be indispensable. That's precisely why the host country of this momentous first meeting had to be our very own England, in order to ensure that our Scotland Yard is poised to be the best investigative organization in the world in the coming century. Lord Vortex's intense will hasn't changed at all, huh? But your will is very strong as well, Naruhodo-sama. I'm the only one in this nation who can see the future of scientific investigation. I intend to become Attorney General and remake the Yard from square one. It's for that reason alone that I must admit that the mismanagement of the Scientific Investigation Unit was a hard blow. The disbanded Scientific Investigation Unit. The Scientific Investigation Unit is a body that I established experimentally last year. I made Dr. Sapph the head of the unit and they continued to garner achievements. And then, we were supposed to change its name to the Scientific Investigation Department and institute it as an official branch of the Yard. Does that mean you can't make it an official branch now? Of course we can't. It'll be a while now before anyone feels like so much as considering it. Unfortunately, even I don't have the power to silence the press all throughout the city. I don't think you want to anyway. The 60 million citizens of London are spewing all the venom they can muster at the Scientific Investigation Unit right now. You could say that this has set our nation's dreams of scientific investigation back a full decade. So that's the backlash of what our trial caused. However, I don't think we can overlook the reality of the situation. Of course not. I'm grateful to you. Either way, I will become Attorney General and rebuild our nation's police force, regardless of how long it takes, or what measures I must use. That's a little concerning about that last line, like, whatever measures? Okay. Excuse me. The missing apprentice. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. Oh yes, I was quite surprised as well to learn that he was a friend of yours. Are you? Didn't we mention that we were friends? Well, whatever. How did he even become an apprentice anyway? It happened 3 months ago. The police were contacted by immigration, saying that they had an unidentified Oriental in their custody. Apparently, he crossed the ocean by concealing himself on a large freight ship. Kazuma-sama, does that mean he was a stowaway? He had no form of ID and no passport. On top of that, he lost his memory. We hadn't a single clue aside from the fact that he was Oriental. But I decided to keep him close to the administration of justice by making him an apprentice. Either way, why the mask? I simply figured that it would be a bother to explain why we had an Oriental following us around. Okay, but the mask makes it, make him stand out even more, just saying. And how would that be more of a pain in explaining why you had a weirdo in a mask following you around? He's been a great service to Lord Van Zeek's. I look forward to seeing where his future will take him. By the way, where's the apprentice now? I'm afraid I don't know. He seems to have left London. What? Is that so? It seems that you weren't aware either. That man's father committed major crimes in this country. Asogi Genshin. His father's major crimes. The things that came out in that trial 8 days ago were a huge shock. I never imagined that his father might have... Asogi Genshin. The professor incident had our whole nation trembling 10 years ago. Terrifying serial murders in which a giant hound was used as a weapon. I doubt anyone could have predicted that the killer would end up being an exchange student visiting from the Far East. The true identity of the serial killer was never revealed to the public. No one in your country, nor the city of London, ever found out the truth. In order to avoid worsening relations between the Great British Empire and the Great Japanese Empire at the time. Precisely. However, there can be no mistake that there was someone at the time who was supporter of the serial killer's crimes. What? They supported the professor? Most of the victims were central figures in the rotten side of the noble community at the time. Ironically, thanks to their deaths, society reaped some benefits. There are quite a few people here in London who feel that way. Is that so? But he was still committing murder. I can't help seeing some similarities between the professor and the Grim Reaper of Old Bailey. You have also gotten silent too. Alright, okay, so that is all we can get from Vortex for the time being, so now we're gonna head back to Holmes' place, so... His guest is probably here now. Maybe. Here she is, folks! A real live client with real live cash! Oh my god, I forgot his hair's red! I hope it's an interesting case, don't you, Holmesy? We're currently facing the most difficult issue known to man. I plan to make her case whether it's interesting or not. To take her case. Just as long as it's not some boring runaway search request. You'll turn every runaway in the world against you with an audacious statement like that. Audacious. Holmesy always acts a little dangerous when rent day approaches.
Master Sherlock Holmes, please, I beg you. Please help me find my runaway husband.
Welp? Why did it have to be that?
Huh? Is something wrong?
Also, hi, aren't you Juror 2 from the last case? Oh no, just talking to myself. Watch your mouth, Mr. Naruhodo. I didn't even say anything. Come now, dear lady, have a seat. Bring us some tea, please. Or Iris, bring us some tea. Okay. What's wrong, Susato-san? Oh, nothing. It's just that this gentlewoman looks awfully familiar. I feel as though we saw her somewhere recently. Yeah, maybe in the last case. Now that she mentions it.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Anna Demwachan. Please, you must find my husband. Money is no object.
I could care less about the money. The investigation itself is more than enough of a reward for me. You shouldn't say that since you need money.
Oh my, Master Holmes.
But, well, just for the sake of caution, let us both etch that statement you just made deep into our memory so that we don't forget it.
By the way, Master Holmes, who might the gentleman and lady there be?
Oh,
After all, I was hoping to keep this business of my husband just between us.
He's a friend of mine. Anything you say to me, you may say to him as well. He's quite trustworthy.
I wonder...
Yes, I'll vouch for him. After all, he's shockingly hard of hearing. So that's how you want to play, huh? Well, hello, miss. Let's have a chat with you. Mrs. Dame Watchin. Pardon me for asking, but have we met somewhere recently?
Oh.
Ha! What are you talking about, Mr. Naruhodo? It seems you have no talent for telling us English apart. If you want to invite a married lady to tea, at least think of a better pickup line than that. Wow!
Might you perchance be the defense attorney from that trial 8 days ago?
So I was right.
The thought of being able to crush a person's future with my own 2 hands. It's quite thrilling.
I guess that statement was so overwhelming that I had trouble remembering her face.
It must be quite difficult being a defense attorney when you're hard of hearing.
Wow. I'm sorry?
Oh, never mind. No need to strain yourself if you can't hear.
Another annoying position I find myself in. All thanks to Holmes-san. Well, why don't you two listen quietly from the corner? Alright. Mr. Dame Watchin. Could you tell me a little bit about Mr. Dame Watchin?
His name is Everett Dame Watchin, and he's 40 years old. This is a photo of my husband.
I see. He's a very normal, average-looking English gentleman, isn't he? How long have you been married?
It's 15 years. This year, we have a good relationship, and he makes a decent income, so we're able to live comfortable lives.
Yes, it certainly looks that way. I could tell as much by looking at you.
Oh?
Your dress is the latest fashion, your hat is well cared for, and your eyes are lively. In other words, I see no reason for your husband to have run away. That's what I meant.
Yes, he is very kind and responsible, and loves me dearly.
However, in that case, it's possible he got involved in some sort of incident.
Precisely. I've been so worried about that possibility. After all, my husband's job is a tad unusual. Perhaps there are those who have it in for him.
What, is he like a gangster or something? What is it that your husband does?
He's a jailer.
Oh, well, okay, there's that too. A jailer. That certainly is unusual. Jailer. So your husband is a jailer at the prison?
Yes, to be more precise, he's the head jailer.
Oh, I see. Then, as a head jailer, he must have some special duties.
Yes, indeed he does. He's in charge of preparing for and attending the most fearsome of all punishments.
The most fearsome of all punishments. Executions, huh?
On such occasions, he has to stay at the jailer's lodging house for 2 days leading up to the event. Because of that, his salary is a bit more generous than that of other jailers, but we're careful to keep quiet about my husband's work to the neighbors.
I see. That might be for the best. Incidentally, which prison is your husband employed by?
It's called Barclay Prison.
Aha! Barclay, eh? Quite a fine person, that one. If memory serves, that prison has a large cemetery behind it, correct?
Yes, indeed it does. It's called Lowgate Cemetery.
What? Hey, this isn't the first time we heard about Lowgate Cemetery. We just heard about Lowgate Cemetery. Don't tell me it's... It would seem that it's just as you suspect, Mr. Naruhodo.
What did you just say, Master Holmes?
Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself again, madam. What could this possibly... It can't be a coincidence, right? His disappearance. So when you say he's gone missing, are you saying that he left no indication of his whereabouts?
Please, don't laugh when I tell you this, but he's been missing since yesterday.
Yesterday? That's more recent than I ever would have imagined.
Actually, my husband sometimes has to tend to the sort of work that requires him to spend the night. And it's not unusual for him to be away from home for a few days. However, for him to leave without telling me, even for a single day, that's never happened before. Ah, my dear Everett, where have you gone?
Alright, calm down now, Mrs. Dame Watchin. So, what about the police? Have you spoken with them?
Yes, of course I have, but they refused to consider it a missing person case after just one day. And they told me to go home and wait a bit longer.
To be honest, I'm afraid I must agree with them, Mrs. Dame Watchin. But mind you, I shall go out of my way to look for your husband.
Thank you, Master Holmes.
No, you must understand. This is not about anything so base as being able to pay my rent. It is for the sake of seeing one more smile in this fair imperial city of ours and nothing more.
Thank you so much. I'll pay whatever you ask as a show of gratitude.
He's coming off as awfully suspicious. Thank you, Mrs. Dame Watchin. I believe I heard enough for the time being.
Ah, Master Holmes.
Please, rest at ease. I hope to have good news for you by tomorrow.
Oh my, Master Holmes. That's so soon.
Good news is always best when it comes soon. Anyway, I'll be holding on to this photo. Dame Watchin's photo. A photo borrowed from Mrs. Dame Watchin in order to search for her missing husband. He has a nondescript face. That's nice, Dad. Now then, you may leave through that door.
Oh, Master Holmes. I'm counting on you.
You know, I think this every time, but you're pretty brave making irresponsible promises like that, Holmesy. Can you really have good news ready for her by tomorrow?
How should I know? I didn't guarantee that. I only stated what I hoped would happen. I hope to have is what I said. After all, tomorrow is the day the rent is due. If I can't find him by tomorrow, then everyone will be happy, right? If I can find him. Excuse me, can, not can't. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Please don't look at me so hopefully. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, did you catch the details of the case? Yes, my ears are actually pretty sharp. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So, what do you think? Regarding the prison she mentioned, isn't Barclay prison? So you made the connection, did you?
Of course. Lowgate Cemetery.
Lowgate Cemetery is located right behind the prison. Therefore, it was famous among students as a place where the ghosts of death row inmates appear.
Barclay Prison is where that condemned prisoner was held.
The professor. And the head jailer of that prison has mysteriously vanished. Huh. I'm really curious. In any case, I'm counting on you now, Mr. Naruhodo. Huh? So go to the prison and see what you can find out. Start with the chief officer. He's probably pretty worried himself. But what about you? You're not coming? I think it was fairly obvious, but do you really think I could just wander around town looking like this? Okay, but you did that to yourself. But didn't you go to Lime Street looking like that? That was different. Anyway, I'm counting on you. I'm busy, you see? Give me a break. Alright, let's go to the prison then, I guess. And then we'll probably stop before we actually have a proper conversation with the chief officer when we meet up with him. Barclay Prison was outside of London proper, back to back with a lonesome joint cemetery. Surrounded by 4 high walls, lying quietly in the mist, we requested a meeting with the chief officer, and were led into the chief officer's office, up in the watchtower. That's not ominous. Oh! Yeah, nice room. And oh my, that's a guillotine clock. Okay. Same day, unspecified time, Barclay Prison, the chief officer's office.
We house only prisoners who've committed severe crimes here, so I don't get many interview requests. An interview with not one of the prisoners but me. The chief officer is even more unusual.
Wow, this man is... I'm Chief Officer Harry Barricade. Huh? Nice to meet you. I'm Attorney Naruhodō Ryūnosuke.
Orientals? Could you be...
Yes, we're legal studies exchange students from the Great Japanese Empire.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes. Okay, are you alright, dude?
We don't have any Japanese prisoners here. You must have confused us with the prison next door.
I didn't notice any other prisons around here.
We were hoping to speak to you about...
I hate to say this, but... can't just talk about prison matters with any suspicious person who wanders in off the streets. Please leave.
Wow. Is this what being Japanese gets us? This must be.
It's likely thanks to the professor.
You think so too, Susato-san? 10 years ago, Sogi Genshin, aka the professor, was held in this prison. Also known as, I'm not sure if they knew the word aka back then, but also known as, I should just say that next time because that sounded weird when I read it. And then, after his execution, He rose from the dead in the shared cemetery out back.
So I was right. You two are sniffing around about that incident, are you? You a couple of the professor's spies, are you?
No, we're just...
Get out, I'll lock you up.
Alright, we'll be going now. So that serial killer's ghost still haunts this prison. In any case, it looks like we'll need some way to prove to him that we're not suspicious. Chief Officer Barricade. What's up, Susato-san? I feel like I've heard that name from someone. If we can just have a word with that person, then perhaps... Now that she mentions it, I kind of feel the same. Professor Mikotoba actually said his name when we first met him, now that I think about it. So we're probably gonna head over there in the next video. Yes, I say next video because we are now out of time, unfortunately. So, I will see you guys then.